Did you know there's a single brush of fingers that can instantly spark an intense emotional pull in a mature woman? Curious. One touch, and the mind begins to crave more. Today, we're diving into 7 intimate gestures that trigger deep emotional attachment, trust, and desire. Touches that go far beyond words. It's not about grand gestures or dramatic declarations. It's subtle, delicate, and almost invisible. Thoughtful, the brush of fingertips across an arm, the lingering warmth of a palm-to-palm connection, or the way an attentive gaze can communicate more than 1,000 words. These moments awaken the heart and make her feel profoundly seen, cherished, and understood. The subtle brush of fingers is one of the simplest yet most powerful ways to create a sense of closeness. It isn't about intensity or duration. It's about timing and intention. When fingertips lightly graze across the arm or hand, it sends a signal to the brain that attention and care are being offered. The mind notices even the smallest touch, and it can trigger feelings of warmth, comfort, and curiosity without a word being spoken. It's almost like a whisper in physical form. There's an unspoken intimacy in this gesture because it requires presence and mindfulness. The person receiving it often feels acknowledged in a way that feels both gentle and personal. This kind of touch works best when it's unexpected, not forced, and occurs in moments of natural interaction, like reaching for a shared object, guiding someone slightly, or laughing together. The emotional effect is surprisingly strong because the brain associates touch with trust and bonding. A light, careful brush communicates attentiveness and subtle connection, making the person feel seen and valued over time. Repeated gestures like this create a quiet familiarity that builds comfort and emotional attachment. It's also versatile. A brush of fingers doesn't have to be overthought. It can happen in casual conversations, playful moments, or even just while passing by. Its power lies in its ability to convey presence, awareness, and care all in one fleeting motion. When used naturally, it becomes an almost magnetic signal that can quietly deepen emotional resonance, creating bonds that linger longer than words ever could. Lingering eye contact is one of the most subtle yet deeply powerful forms of connection. It's not about staring intensely or making someone uncomfortable. It's about presence. When someone holds your gaze just a little longer than usual, it creates a sense of being truly seen. The eyes communicate emotions that words often cannot. There's an unspoken understanding that emerges, a quiet acknowledgement that can feel surprisingly intimate. The impact comes from the way the brain processes connection. Eye contact activates emotional centers, making a person feel noticed, appreciated, and understood. Even a brief moment can spark a feeling of closeness. It signals attention and engagement, which builds trust naturally over time. Repeated moments of intentional gaze create a sense of familiarity and emotional warmth, as if there's a silent dialogue happening just through looks. This kind of touch doesn't require any physical contact at all. It works best in everyday situations, a conversation across a table, a shared laugh, or even during a moment of reflection. The key is to stay present, relaxed, and genuine. It's about noticing subtle expressions, soft smiles, or slight shifts in mood and responding with your eyes. Lingering eye contact can also amplify the effect of other touches, enhancing emotional resonance. It quietly communicates care, attention, and a deep sense of presence that words alone cannot convey. When used naturally, it forms a bridge between people, creating a silent yet powerful bond that resonates on an emotional level, deepening feelings in ways that are subtle but profoundly impactful. A gentle hand resting on the shoulder or the back can create a surprising sense of comfort and closeness. It's not about force or intensity, but about the simple presence of warmth and support. When done naturally, this kind of touch communicates reassurance, care, and a feeling of safety. It's a way to show attentiveness without saying a word, letting the person know they are noticed and valued. The beauty of this gesture is in its subtlety. A light, deliberate placement of the hand conveys protection and emotional steadiness. It can make someone feel grounded in a moment of uncertainty or simply more connected during everyday interactions. Even brief contact has the power to reduce tension and create a sense of emotional ease. Over time, These small moments build familiarity and trust, reinforcing the feeling that there's someone present who truly understands and supports them. It works best when it happens naturally, like during conversation, laughter, or sharing an experience together. The touch is not meant to dominate or demand attention. It's a quiet, reassuring presence. The brain interprets this physical closeness as an expression of care, and it can trigger subtle hormonal responses that enhance feelings of comfort and attachment. This gesture is particularly effective because it blends emotional support with physical connection. It communicates empathy and attentiveness in a way words often cannot. When applied gently and sincerely, it leaves a lasting impression, quietly nurturing a sense of intimacy and emotional connection that strengthens over time. A playful touch to the hair or the nape of the neck can create a surprisingly strong emotional connection. It's delicate and subtle, almost instinctive, and when done naturally, it communicates attention and closeness. The hair and neck are sensitive areas, so even the slightest movement can trigger a feeling of warmth and trust. This kind of touch signals that the person is present, engaged, and aware, making the other feel noticed in a very personal way. It's not about being intrusive or exaggerated. A light, casual interaction like brushing a strand of hair aside or a gentle hand near the nape conveys care and playfulness without needing words. It can create a sense of vulnerability in a safe way, showing that the moment is shared and that there's an unspoken understanding between both parties. This vulnerability is what often deepens emotional attachment because it builds subtle intimacy over time. The effect of this touch is heightened when combined with eye contact or a smile. It works best in relaxed, natural situations while talking, laughing, or during a quiet moment together. The brain perceives these small, thoughtful gestures as signals of attention and interest, which strengthens feelings of warmth and comfort. Over time, these little touches accumulate, creating an emotional memory that feels special and personal. They awaken a sense of closeness that words alone cannot achieve, fostering trust, playfulness, and an unspoken bond that lingers in the mind and heart. Connecting palm to palm is a surprisingly powerful way to create closeness and emotional resonance. It's not about holding hands tightly or for long periods, but about the simple intentional contact between palms. When done gently, it conveys presence, attention, and a sense of shared energy. The skin is sensitive, and the subtle warmth and pressure of this touch can trigger a feeling of intimacy without a single word. This gesture works because it's both grounding and personal. The palms are full of nerve endings, so even a brief connection can create a subtle yet noticeable emotional impact. It communicates a level of awareness and care, making the person feel acknowledged and valued. Over time, repeated gentle touches like this build familiarity and trust, creating a quiet sense of closeness that feels effortless but meaningful. It's best applied naturally in moments of conversation, laughter, or mutual focus on something shared. There's no need for overthinking. The gesture is most effective when it's relaxed and unforced. It can be playful, comforting, or reassuring depending on the situation, which makes it a versatile way to deepen connection. Palm-tom contact also strengthens nonverbal communication. It allows emotions to be shared in a way that words sometimes cannot, subtly amplifying feelings of warmth, safety, and attachment. Over time, these small but intentional touches can quietly nurture emotional intimacy, making the person feel deeply connected and understood on a level that lingers in memory. Slow hand grazes are one of the most subtle yet powerful ways to create a sense of closeness and anticipation. It's not about fast or accidental movements, but gentle, deliberate strokes along the arm or hand. These light touches awaken the senses and make the person feel noticed. In a quiet, intimate way, the slow pace allows the brain to register the connection, creating a feeling of warmth and emotional resonance that lingers. The beauty of this touch lies in its simplicity. It doesn't need to be dramatic or overthought. A finger tracing lightly along the arm during conversation or shared laughter can communicate attentiveness, care, and emotional engagement without a word being spoken. It's a way of saying, I'm present with you, in a form that is deeply felt but unobtrusive. This gesture works particularly well because it combines curiosity with comfort. It sparks subtle anticipation while maintaining a sense of safety, which naturally draws someone closer emotionally. Over time, repeated moments of slow grazing touch create familiarity and build a quiet intimacy that feels personal and unique. It is most effective when it happens naturally in everyday interactions. The touch should feel like a natural extension of the moment, not forced or staged. When applied thoughtfully, slow hand grazes can quietly deepen emotional attachment, creating a connection that is both sensory and emotional. It's a small gesture that carries a surprising emotional weight, gently reinforcing closeness and trust. A warm, lingering embrace is one of the most profound ways to create a deep emotional connection. It's not about speed or force, but the intention behind the hug. When someone is held gently with presence and care, it communicates safety, comfort, and emotional closeness in a way that words often cannot. The physical closeness allows the body to feel warmth and security, which naturally encourages trust and attachment. The impact of a long embrace comes from both physical and emotional cues. The pressure of being held triggers subtle responses in the brain that release calming and bonding sensations, making the person feel emotionally anchored. Unlike brief or rushed hugs, a lingering hold signals attentiveness and genuine care, showing that the moment is shared and meaningful. This touch works best when it feels natural in moments of celebration, comfort, or quiet connection. It doesn't need to happen in grand or dramatic situations. Even a simple, thoughtful embrace can leave a lasting impression when it's genuine and intentional. The key is in the subtle timing. The embrace lingers just long enough to make the person feel supported and valued without causing discomfort. Over time, these shared moments of warmth create an unspoken emotional bond. They convey presence, empathy, and a quiet sense of attachment that words alone rarely achieve. A lingering embrace becomes a memory of closeness that the person carries with them, quietly reinforcing trust, emotional safety, and a deeper connection that grows stronger with every shared moment.